Hi everyone, today we're making the one, the only, Sabrina Carpenter. The reason for the season and the best one yet. I'm sorry, you guys are great. Anyway, let's get to some designs and the sketches. Okay, so as you can see, I wanted to give her the go-go boots and the corsets inspired by her concerts. Here's some color sketches. And here's the final design I did for her. Oh my god, I love her. I just love her. Our victim for today's project is Twyla, Generation 3. Because she's kind of a short queen, so I wanted to use a short doll. And I thought she would be the best choice for it. So Twyla, come with me and let's get started. I always feel bad when I have to ruin a perfectly fine doll for customizing, but I mean, she was the best choice I could do. She's just short, and yeah, she's basically the best one. I had to get a second one because I love the original so much and I'm also a collector, so it felt bad ruining one, so yeah, I had to. So what I did was take off all of her clothes so we can get finally started with it and chop her beautiful hair off. Oh my god, this felt so bad. I'm sorry, Twyla. And when that was done, I took her head off. Whoa, that was graphic. Okay, and I scraped her head, the inside, with some pliers. Here's the doll finally bald and ready to customize. I used acetone to remove the factory face, and here's it all nice and clean. This doll has such a beautiful sculpt. And then I painted her scalp with some matching acrylic paint. So when the doll is finally rooted, she looks less bald. For her hair, I'm using nylon in Golden Sun by dollyhair.com. Since the hair was quite short and I wanted to give her some layers, what I did was grab the hair and pull aside, so we have a longer side and a shorter side. I basically did that for everything. And then I just kept plugging and plugging and plugging till the whole head was filled. Then I started painting with a nice white acrylic paint base using a soft brush and thin coats. And then, foolishly, I started painting the body too, which was a big mistake, because we have to sew the clothes first. Here's me realizing my dumb mistake. We have to sew the clothes first because we have to make patterns for this new body type. So what you're going to need is your doll, some masking tape and scissors and a pen. You're gonna wrap your doll with your masking tape, make 2 or 3 layers, and then you're gonna start drawing on the pattern you want. Here you also have to draw the seams you want, like on the sides and on the front. We're basically drawing the outfit on the doll. And when you have it, you can start cutting with your tiny scissors. Then what you're going to do is trace the pattern you just did on a piece of paper and give it some seam allowance. I also gave myself some notes, like cut a certain piece on the fold and expand another one for the closure. And then you're gonna cut your fabric and sew good side to good side. And here I'm sewing on the fold for that middle seam because I wanted some detail, and then I'm pressing it with a flat iron and sewing it. And here's my piece. As you can see, I top stitched some seams for some details because it was looking a bit flat. Now to help me do the seams and the hem, since this has such tiny curves in this fabric brace, what I'm gonna do is use tulle and sew all around the piece and leaving a hole so I can turn it inside out. And when that was done, I pinned the sides of the fabric and I pressed them with a flat iron again and also top stitched it. I used this lace for her details on the corset. And here you have a tiny doll corset. Okay, so for her fur jacket, I used a Barbie. I had one laying around, so I was feeling a bit lazy, so I just sized it down and cut it. And I saved the extra for a next project. To make the go-go boots, we're going back to 3rd grade and we're gonna use paper mache. So what I did was mix some white glue and water, and I cut some pieces of paper and I wrapped them around the doll's feet, helping myself with my fingers and the brush. I left them overnight to dry, and when they were dry, I could decide where I wanted the shoe to end, so I used a pen and I just drew a line where I wanted. And I also drew the heart cutout and the back seam. And even though I wrapped the doll with saran wrap before doing this, for some reason it stuck to the doll's foot, and it was quite a pain to remove them, but I did it. And I gave her some epoxy sculpt heels. And then what I did was paint the heart cutout and the trim of the boot, so I had myself a guide. And I also painted the bottoms of the shoe. And using more of that white glue, I covered the white part of the shoe with glue, and so I could cover it with glitter afterwards. And I also did the same for the bottom of the shoe, and I also gave it a gloss layer so it wouldn't be shedding everywhere. Okay, now we can finally paint the doll. I gave her some layers of a light tan skin tone using acrylic paint. And when those were dry, I reconnected the head and gave the doll some blush using soft pastels, because I love the effect it has on a painted doll. It gives it some warmth and realism. And then I also blushed her cheeks, nose, and a bit of the forehead. And I like to blush the ears too. And then I took the doll out for a layer of Mr. Super Clear to lock all the pastels in. I sketched the features of the face using a light brown pencil in case I mix up and I have to erase it. I like to work with a soft cotton piece of fabric under the doll, especially with a painted body like hers, because it prevents scratching. I had my sketch nearby and also some Sabrina Carpenter images for some reference, and that really helped a lot, especially with the eyebrows. Flipping the doll upside down usually helps me a lot with the symmetry of the face, so if you want to do that, you absolutely can. I gave her a blue eyeshadow look inspired by the 60s, because I wanted to give her kind of a 60s vibe like Sabrina has, I mean. And I also used a coral watercolor pencil to sketch her lips. Even though it's not very noticeable, I like to use a white pencil for some highlights on the face, like the brows and the bridge of the nose and the cupid's bow. Now to blend the eyeshadow, I used blue pastels. And for some definition, I used a black watercolor pencil to go over the eyeliner and the eyebrows. I find that it looks better when the eyebrow has some sort of gradient, like darker on the tip. To make my life easier, I painted the scleras of the eyes using acrylic paint to go faster, and also to have more pigment. I like to use these iridescent paints to give some shine to the eyeshadow, some shimmer if you want. And I hope you can forgive me, but I wasn't really feeling like I wanted to record, so I did some shots of the face. I used black paint for the pupils of the eyes and also the eyelashes. I gave the face some final details like the eye shines and stuff, and now it's time to remove the hair cocoon, as the light fill says. And I have to admit, at this point she was looking a bit like Britney Spears in the Toxic music video, which was kind of funny. I boiled the hair to tame it down, and to style it I'm gonna wrap the doll with the same cotton fabric I had so it doesn't scratch. Okay, so to curl a doll's hair, I wrap a strand of hair on a straw, a plastic straw. And then using another one cut in half, I covered the first straw and secured it with bobby pins. And now you just have to do that over and over again till the whole hair is covered in straws, curlers. The next morning I took the curlers out, and to make it look less crazy, what I did was separate the curls in 2 or 3 sections and then comb them out. As you can see here, when you comb it out, it looks less noodly and more like hair. Off camera I made an espresso earring and some thigh guard thingies, and I dressed her up and she's done.